So I recently purchased a Vango Force 10, a Mark 5 version off Facebook Marketplace, and I only paid £50 for it, and it was absolute mint condition. But anyway, this other tent also came as part of the package. I had no idea what it was. It did have a Phoenix label on the outside of the bag, so I did a little bit of research. I went on YouTube and I found a really good channel called Warrior Camping. So a massive thanks to the guy on there. Sorry, I don't know your name, but he has a great video on there that takes you through how to set it up and tells you a little bit more about the tent. So that was really good, so cheers for that. So this is me basically just taking it out of the bag for the first time. You can see there, I'm just checking what's in the bag. You've got your two poles there that make up the A-frame, and then there's two shorter poles, one slightly longer than the other. These little things were in the bag as well. We'll come back to them in a minute. Wasn't quite sure what they were for, but I had a bit of an idea. Bag of pegs. I quite like the pegs actually. They were very lightweight, aluminium, and they had like a little sort of ring at the top that you could put your finger in and pull them out easy. Now you can see there that the seams don't look great. They might be very well sealed, but they don't look very aesthetically pleasing. So that's something I might have to look at further down the line. So it took me a little bit of a few goes just to get the fly sheet the right way around. Again, never put this tent up before, never even seen this tent before. Eventually I realised which way around it should be. So I decided to start at the back end, and I figured short pole. So at the back you've got little sort of leather grommets with a little hole in that the pole pushes into, as you'll see. And being leather, it sort of forms a little seal. It just pushes, it's not a loose fit that, so it's got like a little seal with the leather, because the pole is obviously outside the inner tent. It's not going to run down the pole into your tent, it's going to be outside under the fly sheet. Now I just pegged the back end out. As I was going round, I could tell that the quality of this tent is, well, back in the day it must have been exceptional, but everything just feels really good, really sturdy. I mean, you can see there it's got all metal sort of hardware on the guy ropes and where you peg it out. Now I had seen that you push these poles, it's pretty obvious, I could see the sleeves, so I knew the pole had to go through these sleeves, as you do with some of the modern tents these days. And there's a little toggle at the top that doesn't fit on the pole that way around. So you've got a spike on one end that goes into the ground, and then there's a hole at the other end where the little sort of plastic A-frame toggle connects into, which is what I'm just doing there. That pushes in. I'm learning from my mistake. And I just like this little touch here, the Phoenix logo is printed on that little plastic A-frame clip. Little attentions to detail. So as you start to peg it out, it starts to take its shape, and obviously it stays stood up whilst you're pegging it out. Not quite sure what it'll be like in high winds, but in this occasion you can see the weather's not too bad. Another pole at the front, slightly longer, another leather grommet which it just pushes through. Then you just have to peg it out and guy it out as you would normally do. So that's forming the vestibule at the front of the tent. There's the logo that you saw on the little plastic A-frame clip. Now I realise what these are for. These go under the spike. There's a little ring on the fly sheet that you just push onto the spike as well, and you can see there it just stops the pole from sinking into soft ground. Nice little touch, I like that. And then of course one on the other side. Again, it's just attention to detail that make this tent just quality. It might be an old tent, and if anybody knows what the age of this tent is, I'm guessing 80s, early 90s, probably late 80s to be honest. But everything about it just feels quality. And then, like with any tent, you go around just adjusting, pulling it taut, making the fly sheet nice and taut all the way around. Final adjustments, little tweaks here and there. So just going around, I mean, you can see here I'm just testing, and it feels rigid already. It's going nowhere. Yeah, I was quite impressed with that. From the research I've done, these tents did stand up to really high winds. I think, you know, well, it's a mountaineering tent, so it's made for bad conditions. And I could tell just going around that this was absolutely going nowhere. Again, attentions to details, these little clasps here that you can hold the fly sheet together in high winds, but you can still unzip it. YKK zips all around, and I love another attention to detail. The zip just pushes up, stops any rain from getting in through the top of the zip, and you can adjust the zip to however you want. If you're cooking inside the vestibule, you can vent the fly sheet on both sides as well. So yeah, really pleased with that. So the fly sheet just on its own, you could use just as a single skin shelter. You can have a bivy bag in there with your sleeping bag. That pole needs sorting. Yeah, that would make a really good shelter. And these metal plates, that's what these are for. Stop the pole from sinking into the ground. One at either end. I struggled to film the one at this end because I couldn't do it with one hand. So yeah, put the plate down and then boom, there it goes. Bit of dodgy film in there. But yeah, that's all set up now. Again, more metal hardware all round. Another vent on the other side. So you've got access at both sides, really like that, depending on which way the wind's blowing. Toggles there for tying it back once you have the doors open. Bit dodgy up there, not sure whether, and we're going to reproof it anyway, we'll see how that gets on. So yeah, time to put the inner in. So you have a little clip at the back end of the tent. Initially, I did set this up far too close to that pole at the back. You'll see in a minute that it affects the inside of the tent. So I had to adjust that, which I will do later on in the video. So I'm just pegging. I thought there might be clips on the inside of the fly sheet to attach the inner to, but I couldn't see any, so I just pegged that down, and then back into the tent again. 2 more clips, they clip on. Then you just pull the inner back towards you and peg it out. You can see there's a little ring on the ground sheet, which you just peg out. Another little ring on the top of the inner. Somebody had put a little carabiner on there, so I just used that. So there you go. That's the inner setup. Doesn't look very big. Again, a little cover there just for the zips, stop any insects getting in, I suppose. Again, YKK zips. So you can see there it funnels to the back end, and you just see the pole there just sticking out into the tent. I realised there that was a bit too close for comfort. Headroom. I mean, I'm lying the wrong way around here. I should have my feet at that end, but you can see there my feet are virtually touching the door, and I'm only 5'7", even though I gave it the thumbs up. But yeah, I can see there. You can see the pole at the back end, so I decided I should adjust that, which I did. So a few adjustments at the end, at the back. Unpegged it, pushed it forward, repegged it, and then I can pull the tent forward and repeg that end. And now when I get in, you can't see the pole at the back. See there, I'm just checking. And you can now see I've gained a lot more foot room there. But realising I shouldn't be sleeping that way around, this is the way you would do it, I would think. You get 2 people in there, very cosy, but as a 1-person tent it'd be great. Now I did notice whilst I was scroking around on the tent there that the damp was coming through off the wet grass, so that ground sheet is going to need some attention, or I might have to look at getting a footprint. If anybody knows if footprints are available for these tents, side pockets there, then please let me know in the comments below. So yeah, it's a strange looking tent when it's set up, but like I say, it's so sturdy. It just oozes quality. It might not look it. It's a bit shabby at the minute. I'm going to re-waterproof it, but all in all, it's a really good tent, and I'm really pleased with it. If you've got any comments, please leave them down below. If you know anything more about this tent. But yeah, absolute bargain. Hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.